You're a startup company, funds are limited, and how do you balance growing your business, acquiring customers, but also ensuring that you're protecting your IP? I mean, what's your recommendation for those startups?
Yeah, I think part of it starts with education, like a lot of other things. I don't expect my customers or clients to all become experts in intellectual property, although a few of them have over the years. But they ought to know a few of the basics so that they know when to start asking questions and when those decisions are actually upon them. For example, one of the things that has a tendency to erode intellectual property is public disclosure of the idea or the innovation. And so it's important for people to know and to understand that if they are going to decide to approach their customers to test market their innovations, what does that sort of public disclosure do to their ability to capture their intellectual property rights? So that's the time to have a discussion with someone like myself or someone who's knowledgeable in this area to sort of break down what is my risk if I disclose this publicly or start to do some test marketing, and what can I do to mitigate that risk, or should I mitigate that risk? So I think education is the starting point. Know the top 5 or 6 things that you need to know about intellectual property that start the discussion.
So as a marketing guy, I have a tendency to worry about startup, and maybe we should define startup too in this, but a startup spending so much money on legal fees to start when they haven't necessarily really figured out the business side of it. You've done the startup world yourself too, in the Bay Area. And so like, is there a percentage of legal related and IP related funds that you think a business in the early days should go towards something like this? Because it just seems like if they had 15% of their budget to go towards marketing to try to get that to go, instead of protecting this thing that may or may not work, that's a hard pill to swallow, I think. And I get that all of them are important, but at some point there's a scale, I think, that says, okay, well, do you spend money on something that you haven't proven yet? But then when do you, if it is proven? And so it's kind of a hard scale.
Really good point, Zach. And that's what it is. It's a scale. I mean, it depends a lot on the type of business that you're trying to start, how protectable the innovations that you're generating are. We look at things like how easy would it be to determine if someone is violating your intellectual property? Is it easy or is it hard? If it's really hard, like you've got some algorithm, some crazy algorithm that helps you navigate through Facebook, and no one would ever know whether your algorithm was being used or somebody else's algorithm, then that tends to devalue the intellectual property and make you consider to spend fewer resources on it.